Have you ever felt trapped, chasing a version of success that society hands you, only to find yourself more stressed, more anxious, and further from happiness? I used to be just like that. My name is Clara, and I lived in the heart of New York City. I believed that comfort, a big paycheck, and material security were the keys to a happy life. I watched my colleagues burn out, stressing over promotions, rent, and the constant pressure to have more, to be more. In that world, smiles often felt like a performance, and true joy was a luxury we couldn't afford. But then I traveled to Vietnam, and everything I thought I knew was turned upside down. In the bustling alleys and workshops, I found something that my American logic just couldn't solve. I saw people with calloused hands and tired bodies, working harder than I'd ever seen anyone work. Yet their faces were radiant with genuine smiles. Their laughter wasn't forced. It spilled out freely, echoing through the narrow streets. How could so much hardship coexist with such effortless joy? This is the story of how I found the answer. I started my days at dawn, leaving my guest house to wander through the awakening city. The air was a mix of incredible smells: steamy, sticky rice, fresh bread, wet earth, and the faint scent of metal polish from nearby workshops. The alleyways were alive with a gentle rhythm of labor. I saw a man hunched over a soldering iron, his focus absolute as he fused tiny metal parts. A woman at a sewing machine, her fingers a blur over vibrant fabric. Even the children were part of this dance, darting around carrying parcels, laughing as they went. Their faces told stories of long hours and hard work. But what struck me was the lightness they carried. The smiles that appeared so naturally weren't for show. They were an organic expression of being alive. A tightness grew in my chest. Back home, even our moments of rest are filled with tension. Here I was seeing something profound. How could you work this hard and still be so full of light? I stopped at a small stall where a man was selling steamed buns. His hands were a testament to years of kneading dough, and sweat glistened on his forehead. But his eyes crinkled with a joy that was so warm, so generous. I had to ask, "Do you ever feel tired or frustrated with life?" He just chuckled, brushing flour from his hands. "Of course," he said, "but I have my family, my friends, and enough to eat. What more could I possibly need?" His words hit me like a ton of bricks. In my world, exhaustion is a reason to complain, to disconnect. Here it was just a part of a life that was still deeply cherished. I walked on, drawn into the small, open-air workshops. I watched a carpenter hammering wood, his movements rhythmic and precise, smiling as a friend teased him. I saw women weaving intricate baskets, their hands moving with incredible speed while they chattered and laughed together. Even the street cleaners moved in unison, humming a soft tune as they swept. Every action was an act of labor, yes, but it was completely intertwined with joy. I realized that back in New York, we often see work and happiness as two separate things. You work hard so that you can be happy later. But here, happiness wasn't a destination, it was the journey itself. I found a low stool outside a workshop and just sat, observing, my mind racing. Have I been chasing the wrong things my whole life? I wondered. Is happiness really separate from wealth? I watched a joke pass between two workers, a warm bun shared between friends, a child's pure, uninhibited laughter echoing through the alley. These simple pleasures radiated a contentment I had rarely seen in my structured, efficiency-obsessed world. There was no calculation, no agenda. It was just life, being lived. Later, I spoke with a woman who was stitching beautiful silk lanterns for the upcoming Lunar New Year. Her eyes shone with a sincere brightness as she told me, "I've never had a luxury car or a big house, but I have my children, a warm home, my craft, and laughter every day. That is wealth enough for me." And in that moment I felt a pang of recognition. How many times had I pushed aside dinner with friends or a call with family because I was too busy chasing a promotion? Here, wealth was measured in smiles, in relationships, in shared moments, not in bank accounts. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the alleys, I saw a man selling mangoes from a tiny stall, barely a meter wide. His workday was long from sunrise to sunset, yet he greeted every customer with a warmth that was remarkable. He'd often give a small piece of fruit to the children passing by. I asked him how he felt about his life. He smiled, gesturing at the bustling street around us. "Every day is a gift," he said. "I work, I laugh, I eat, I sleep, and I love. I have enough." Enough. That single word was so powerful. In New York, the idea of enough is almost a foreign concept. There's always more to achieve, more to accumulate. But here, enough was a state of gratitude. It was then I realized that every smile I had seen was a statement. It was a statement of resilience against hardship. It was an expression of connection that linked neighbors and strangers in shared warmth. It was a mark of authenticity in a world that often demands we wear a mask. I thought of the boardrooms and business lunches back home, where smiles were a tool for negotiation, a strategy. Here, a smile was just a gift, freely given. My heart felt torn. I admired these people so deeply, and I felt a sense of shame for my own obsession with status and success. I thought I was free, with all my choices and opportunities, but I saw that I was actually a slave, enslaved by comparison, by expectation, and by the relentless pursuit of more. Just then a barefoot child splashed through a puddle, letting out a peal of pure, unfiltered laughter, and I understood. Freedom isn't about what you have, it's a state of mind. Joy can exist even within the tightest constraints. As evening fell, the streets didn't quiet down. They hummed with a different energy, the sound of chatter and laughter, as workers headed home, tired but fulfilled. I sat there, soaking it all in, and a quiet revelation settled over me. Happiness isn't something you can buy. Wealth doesn't guarantee joy. The true currency of a rich life is connection, gratitude, and being present in each moment. My heart felt heavy with this recognition, but also incredibly light with a new understanding. In the paradox of poverty and smiles, I had found a truth that is so often lost in our affluent societies. The richest people are those who cherish life itself. As I walked back to my guest house that night, the smiles I had seen lingered in my mind. They were a silent, powerful reminder that happiness isn't a commodity to be acquired, but a choice you make every single day. I whispered to myself, true wealth is not measured in money, but in the heart. That journey changed me forever. It taught me to look for richness in moments, not in materials, and to find my own version of enough. Thank you for letting me share this story with you. If it resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more journeys of discovery.